In today's Leeds news, Marsh feels harshly treated, Sinisterra and Anthony loans could be cancelled, and Leeds interested in Liverpool defender. Hi folks, Jay here on the Friday the 15th of December with your Leeds United news. Hope you're all having a very good week. I was going to do a press conference reaction and I have watched a bit of the press conference, but I decided not to and leave that to other people. So I'm going to just crack on with the news and keep this short today. And we'll start off with news around Jesse Marsch, who has been speaking. We have the joy of a Jesse Marsch Simon Jordan sit down interview coming up soon to look forward to. Simon Jordan, a known Jesse Marsch skeptic, which could make that interview a little bit spicy, but Jesse may have added some ammo to the fire, or fuel to the fire and ammo to Simon Jordan's case by talking to CBS Sport, where he has said that he feels harshly judged in England versus his time in Germany and Austria. What Jesse Marsch said was that when he went to Austria and Germany, he learned German, he coached in German, and he was fluent in the language, and he said no one ever asked him about being American. But he said when he went to the UK and went to England, he said, a country where we speak the same language, everybody questioned him about being American, he said, which makes absolutely no sense. He finished off by saying that there's an underlying question mark around American players in England for sure, and he also said about American people in sport in England in general. What I would say to that, and to be as honest and kind of open and transparent on this, or unbiased on this, is there will be question marks around American coaches and there will be question marks around American players in the Premier League until somebody performs or does a really good job in the Premier League. There will always be skepticism about somebody coming from a nation where there hasn't been success in England by them. Outside of Landon Donovan, there's been a handful of American players in the Premier League specifically, and lesser again that have actually had a major impact on the league. So American coach-wise, Bob Bradley at Fulham had an awful time there. Jesse Marsch at Leeds wasn't great either. So until you start seeing American managers come into the Premier League and do a successful job, or players come in and make a real impact. Christian Pulisic was the obvious one that was going to come into England and make a mark. Didn't really in Weston McKennie when he came in for Leeds. We all saw what happened there. Didn't take it seriously enough. Brendan Aronson struggled with the physicality of the league. Tyler Adams, injuries, hamstrings, that kind of stuff, just the pace and the tempo. So until somebody comes in and lays down a marker, there will always be cynicism and skepticism around an American manager or an American player coming in. It's just because it's an emerging football market. Like, soccer in America hasn't been that big for that long, so it takes time, and it is going to take time for that to happen. It's a country I fully expect to start developing rapidly over the next 2 World Cups, to be in a position where they can potentially push for a World Cup with the kind of players and investment in sport in America. But until that happens in the Premier League, you're just not going to see anybody take it seriously. There's always going to be a question mark around the manager coming in, especially one that didn't do it in the Bundesliga. In Germany, did do it in Austria, but a lesser league with the best players in the league. When he went to Germany, didn't transfer as well. He didn't get long there, 6 months, and he was gone. At Leeds, he got the first half, back end of the season to keep Leeds up, which happened. And then he got a number of months in the Premier League to show something, which didn't happen, and Leeds slipping down the table. So I really am looking forward to the interview with Simon Jordan. I like Jesse. I've always liked Jesse. I think as a bloke, I think he's a top guy. As a coach, question marks around style, question marks around whether he would adapt that style to fit a division and move away from the Red Bull style model, which every club that's employed it in England, Leicester did it for a little bit, didn't work, they got relegated. Southampton jumped on it, they got relegated. Leeds jumped on it, they got relegated. So it's a system that hasn't translated across to England specifically. So again, until that happens, and it does actually work, or to bring in the system that works, there will always be question marks around a coach from a country where there hasn't been success in England. So that will happen, unfortunately, Jesse. So sorry you feel that way about it, but I'm very interested to see what will be said between Simon Jordan and him as well. Jesse has also said previously in the last couple of weeks that he did underestimate the job of replacing Marcelo Bielsa going into Leeds. That's more than just a coaching job. There was everything else that went with it. So he is open to that. He is aware of what happened. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that interview when it does pop up over the next couple of weeks. Moving on, let's talk about a surprise bit of news this morning. This is coming from Team Talk. I would take this with a massive chunk of salt, because there is no guarantee that this is actually real. It's coming from Team Talk there. As I said before, Team Talk can be very much on the money. They're exclusive, tend to be usually off the money. But we'll talk about this, and according to Team Talk, they believe that Leeds United and Bournemouth are both seriously considering cancelling the loan moves of Luis Sinisterra and Jadon Anthony, and letting both players to go back to their parent clubs when the January window opens up. Sinisterra's fitness has been called out by Andoni Iraola on a number of occasions, where he said the player just isn't fit enough to start games. He has got 2 assists for them and a goal for them from the substitute bench, but he has primarily been used, I think he's got 1 start, but he has been primarily used as a substitute. Jadon Anthony on the other side has Had one start for Leeds as well, looked pretty good coming off the bench early on in the season. Had his game against Stoke, didn't work out for him, and has struggled for minutes again since then. The issue with this, and what might cause some problems, is, and why I question whether the story actually has any validity, is because Leeds don't have a say in this. Leeds don't have a say in Luis Sinisterra's loan. He has a loan release clause and can leave unless the club that he's gone to decide to terminate that loan. What could happen here, and it looks like these two loans are intertwined, what could happen here is, if it's a case that Bournemouth would prefer to have Jadon Anthony back, who Andoni Iraola did say in the summer he quite liked and wanted him part of a squad, if they take him back, they might decide then they don't need another winger and they would cancel the loan deal of Luis Sinisterra, sending him back to Leeds. Now, there's more problems with this as well, because Angus Kinnear said on the Square Ball podcast that Sinisterra, he wasn't happy, was the inflection that he gave, that he wasn't happy with the situation that involved Luis Sinisterra leaving Leeds, where he allegedly threatened to sue the club along the lines of what Tyler Adams had done to force him to move away from the club. He also did say, though, that he wasn't going to be on the club's Christmas card list. So if it's a case that Luis Sinisterra, the deal is cancelled on Bournemouth and he is sent back to Leeds, it could be a very cold and awkward reception for Luis Sinisterra when he comes back to the club. It has been said in this article that he would obviously walk straight back into the Leeds United starting 11, but I really don't think that would happen. And given the fact that he threatened to sue the club, I don't think most fans would react very well to seeing Luis Sinisterra in a Leeds shirt walking out there, a man that tried to damage the club, unless he got to move away from the club, which doesn't sit particularly well with fans. And yeah, that would be an interesting one to keep an eye on. But pinch of salt, as I said, give it another 2 weeks to see when the window opens, and we'll see what happens there. There'll be more information on that as and when it comes. And then finally today, looking at potential incomings, and an interesting link in a player that I actually quite like and is tipped to be a hot prospect and has been labelled as incredible, and that's Connor Bradley at Liverpool. According to Team Talk, Leeds are going to battle numerous clubs, up to 12 clubs, for the signature of Connor Bradley come January. The article states that Leeds will be looking to bring in another fullback. However, Connor Bradley is a right back, and Leeds seem to be well stocked at right back. This could be a case of bolstering the size of the squad and bolstering areas. We take Archie Gray out of the right back position permanently and have Jed Spence and Connor Bradley as our two options there, and then look to bring in the left foot on the far side. Bradley has been talked about a lot. He has been big upped by quite a lot of people in the game as well. He is a hot prospect and is seen and has been labelled as an incredible young player by a lot of people, but Leeds are very well stocked on the right hand side of the park. The question mark around whether that would be a move Leeds would do, unless it's a case of Leeds trying to get, two specialist players in every single position and not have options where players are rotating around to out of position. So getting round pegs back in round holes, essentially. It'll be an interesting one, and it won't come until January, but it is said to be a loan move. That if Leeds are interested in that, it'll be a loan move for the player. So that's going to be it for me today, folks. The press conference is on. I was going to cover it. I'm not going to get a chance to do it, and there won't be a match day preview this week as well. I just haven't got time this week with work and trying to wrap up for Christmas and everything else. So back on Monday with the news, and depending on time I get on Saturday, because I'm out on Saturday, I might try and get a review done on the game against Coventry when it's over. Right, that's going to be it for me today. If I don't see you over the weekend, have a cracking weekend. Fingers crossed for 3 points, and I'll see you on Monday morning for more Leeds news. Have a great weekend. Mind yourself. Bye.